Hello, YouTube. Back again for a playthrough on Erlengrat. Last time I showed, I purchased this chunk of property here. So I have put up my cow barn right there. Got several cows there, happily making me milk and slurry. Went through and removed all of the trees that were on it. Already did a whole bunch of landscaping, trying to smooth it out and get it all ready. Now what I'm doing is going through and, well, on this map, all of the unowned properties, let's get to the right thing, are already set. So all of the properties that are unowned, like field 34 or property 34 here, or this one here, all the areas they're already set up as fields with nothing growing in them. So you can actually see where I've got my cow barn with the slurry and manure fertilizer production plants. And everywhere that I did major landscaping going on, I had to do a whole bunch of smoothing out for like the steep hills and whatnot where I wanted to be able to drive over. I had to smooth those out and did some painting around where there's stands of trees so I could more easily remove the stumps. And just around over here, you had to do a bunch of smoothing out. But all this is already set up as field. So what I'm doing now is just going to go through and, as you can tell, it's still set to restrict fields. So I'm just going through and just plowing that field, what is already set up as a field. And so I'm just, got the plow on the front, and I got the stone picker on the back. So it's plowed, stones are picked, and it's left cultivated. And because it already had grass and I went through and mowed it all, I left it with one level of fertilization on it, so that makes life a little bit easier. And I also went through and mulched the whole thing. So it's fertilized, it's mulched, now I'm getting it plowed and cultivated. So what I'm working on doing is just get all of this plowed first. Then we can go back and all the areas that aren't already filled, or that I painted over or whatever, or had to redo because of landscaping, I'm gonna set it up to create fields and redo, plow them up, created field, just to get it all shaped and groomed and all that just the way I want it. Like this area right here, I intentionally painted a big stretch there to give a kind of like a break between two areas of field. So I'm going to have that section back there as one field, and all this over here as another field. I might do another break at some point, but two. I'm already planned that back there. I'm gonna set that up as poplar right now. Because why the heck not? Because then that would give me 3 different fields of poplar. Because I'm going with trying to get this set up, get 3 roughly equal sized fields of poplar. That way I'll be able to harvest one a year. And so every year I'll have one of them that'll be ready to harvest. Just to have a steady supply of chips coming in. Probably going to slow down now on planting trees and doing tree harvests. Because yeah, after pulling all the trees up out of here, I've got like 400,000 liters of lumber sitting in my lumber storage building. So yeah, come like December, I'm gonna have a fair amount of money again. So between wood chips and silage and lumber, I don't know, almost feels like an exploit, but I do end up doing a fair amount of work on those throughout the year. But I'm just going through getting this plowed up and ready to set it up as field. So my plan is I'm going to take pretty much, I plant that other section as poplar on the last possible month that I can this year. This section here over here, most of it I'm going to plant as wheat as soon as possible. And the other field that I have on my property over there, I'm also going to plant all that as wheat. So I'll be getting a big old wheat harvest next year. I did get a pretty good harvest of oats out of this field here. Before I forget, okay, I do have that turned off. Alright, so most of my straw I went ahead and put in here. I got that ground down to 423. It was up to about, I want to say 700,000 liters. But I've been grinding, making TMR. So, a good amount of grass in here, making hay and silage. Got the straw, once I added straw, started making TMR. Once I got the manure and the slurry, I was able to start making the fast production. Now on the wood production, I guess garden, you can turn them all on. I actually tested it out. If you get just the slow going, that gives you what was it, 27 liters of wood in an hour with my 3-day months. With either one of the fast woods, it was 54 liters an hour. And then I went and just turned them all on, and yeah, they all added up. It gave the full supply. So yeah, this produces a fair amount of wood. And just because So, and I also done same thing with the planks. If you got them both turned on, it produces all. So it does not slow down. I have noticed if you have the wood storage filled up high enough, if you turn that to distributing, it fills up the wood production. So it will, if I turn this to distributing, it shuts this wood production off. So I just kind of got to keep a little bit of an eye on here, but it looks like that keeps up, the wood production there keeps up pretty well. Planks are keeping up pretty well there. And it's building up. That still irritates me a little bit, where it's dumping all sorts of planks in here, but it's not, they're not going into there as much. Getting a fair amount of honey built up. I did take some straw up to my biomass plant, so that's running there. Got chickens going, so getting eggs from my chickens. I do have like I said, I do have the manure and slurry fertilizer productions. So, yeah, I got everything so at this point. I think it's time to take my next payday from this and, get rid of all my debt. And ooh, something's not right here. I'm gonna have to do some more landscaping just to smooth this out some more. This will go up it just fine, so I guess it'll hold for now, but it's gonna be taking some work. Yeah, looks like looks like my next setup will be to take my next payday from selling my wood and chips and silage and whatnot, and pay off my extremely massive loan from the bank. Yep, basically as high as I can get again. See, early on I am horrible for that because I want to buy. Okay, want to buy stuff. Gotta get everything set up. Want to get my stuff set up. But I think it's at the point where I can get that paid off. But the only other thing I really am interested in getting right now is going to be I'm going to get some sheep. Get a sheep pasture put in here somewhere. Then probably get the spinnery. Start making me some fabric. I could probably just hold for a while, update some of my machinery, get the larger tractor, because this thing can handle everything pretty well, but it kind of grunts. It doesn't really like handling the seeder all that much, or the planter, whichever it is. It has some issues. It goes kind of slow. So invest in a bigger tractor. Ooh, this thing's empty. So I'm right here, so I'm just gonna pull everything up. So, get the bigger tractor to handle the seeder, then I'll probably invest maybe like in a bigger cultivator to handle the missions a little bit better. Cultivating contracts faster. That's still a maybe. I don't know. I do have, while this is emptying, I'll go up to the map again, because this batch of poplar up here is ready to harvest, and I have tried it with the tree devourer. It will not harvest poplar. So I am going to have to invest in the poplar harvester. So that is a little bit of an issue, and I have to deal with that when I deal with that, but just gonna have to see how prices for everything unroll. Hopefully the silage price tops out before the wood chips price. Because so far looking at it, they're both, looks like silage might hit in December, and wood chips is January. Because yeah, that says 870,000, which, where do I can't remember. I have 870,000 liters? That's a problem. I don't remember where I have 870,000 liters stored. Because my multi-fruit silo will hold it over here. Or that could also be at one of the rail yards. Well, if it's at the rail yards, I'd have to be both of them. But so that's a problem. So I got 870,000 liters there. Plus, right now I got 1.3 million liters sitting in my production. So yeah, that hopefully that'll hit up top price in December so I can sell all that off, which will give me enough money to buy the poplar harvester and the 3-point hookup, so I can use that to harvest the poplar, and I'll be able to sell that then, and sell the wood chips then in January. So that'll be good, and then I'll actually see how much, what I get for wood chips off that size of field. And see if maybe I want to keep working on those. Maybe I want to expand the size of the poplar fields, or well, I'll see what goes on with that. So then see if everything I read on them is right and they actually do come back. Because if that's the case, then yeah, that's definitely worth it. So yeah, here's my happy cows. Currently, I'm sitting on 360 chickens, and what I'm waiting on here now is these ones are going into puberty. Alright, still got a little bit of puberty left. Now when this batch is ready to reproduce, on the last day before they reproduce, like late at night, I'm going to sell these the oldest ones. So then these ones will reproduce and replace them. And then when the ones that these reproduced are ready to reproduce, I'll sell these. So that'll basically be how it goes. Whenever the youngest batch is ready to reproduce, I will sell the oldest batch of chickens I have, and I'm going to do the same thing with the cows. Once the cow barn is full, the youngest batch of each type is ready to reproduce, I'll just sell the oldest. So that way I'll be getting income from the milk coming in. I'll be getting income from the slurry and the manure in the, increasing the wood production and in producing fertilizer. And then I'll also be getting income from selling off the older cows. And I know that, the profit margin on them isn't going to be as good as if they're beef cows. The Angus with the limousine, because they're dairy, but these ones will be giving me milk the whole time, as opposed to the Angus and limousine, which don't give nothing. Because eventually what I am going to do with the dairy cows is I will be buying the dairy sell points, which usually is a dairy. I'm not sure. It looks like this place has two different things. One for making like cheeses and one for chocolates. So, and it looks like I may have just messed up, went out too far. So I'm just kind of trying to go around the edges and get everything I can before I have to start creating fields. Now there's some of it I'm gonna just replant as grass, because I'm gonna need silage to make sure I got plenty of TMR, and silage does sell well. I got a feeling it's not gonna be much, considering how much grass, like right now, part of the reason I got so much grass sitting in my production is I mowed all of this property before I built anything or did anything with it. So that gave me a whole lot of grass bales. So I am going to leave some of it as grass. I'm between the fields just to help make sure I don't accidentally plant the wrong thing. I don't end up accidentally replanting over what I got growing in one field. I am going to put a break between them, between the grass field and the active crop field, just like I got going on with the poplar there. And on that one I am going to have meadow, I'm going to put meadow in. So that'll be another little source of grass, but I did discover that this is an awesome setup. Really effective time-saving setup. So you can plow and stone pick all at the same time. Although when you waste your time plowing over places that you can't plow, that's not really all that effective, but hey. Yeah, it looks like that whole area is one of the areas that I had to landscape, so I'm just gonna stop trying. Whoa, straight now. That is one difficulty. I think that's as much to do with the tractor as anything. Yeah, this is a fairly small little tractor, so... Well, actually no, it's one of the largest medium tractors, but that was a pretty big lump of hill and... So yeah, that's where I'm at now. And yeah, it's just... I was just really lucky to find that out about this plow. It has... I'll actually show you quick. It actually has hookups, so you can hook it up on the front here. And you can also go around and hook it up on the back like you normally would think of a plow. So you can hook it up on either side. Which that's really quite useful. You can get set up to do 2 operations at once. Unless you're using like, you know, one of the snow picker, either like this one or the smaller version, they both do the same thing where once it's dropped and turned on, it picks up stones and leaves it cultivated. So it's like I'm plowing, stone picking, cultivating all in one fell swoop. Yeah, find a way to add in, you know, dropping down, what's the word? Lime. And it's like, boom, everything's all done at once. So yeah, that's what I got going on here. So got cows, got chickens. I'm thinking about putting in sheep either down here or maybe putting them up over here. I'm gonna put in some more beehives around here somewhere. Still debating on cutting this off right about here. It kind of depends on how many wood chips I get out of this. I'm kind of debating on cutting this off here and replanting this section as grass. Got some more poplar here, which that irritates me. I missed the section right there. Just gonna leave it as it is for right now, but got all this here. Harvested my oat, and I went through and it's now all red. Yeah, it's been mulched, fertilized. It's all ready for me to go through with my planter and put down wheat as soon as I'm able to. And once it's hit, the right, holding off oat until it hits a good sell point. Got my landscaping kind of done. Still need some work and some smoothing out here. There's still some dips and bumps in here that I don't really care for, but that's just a little bit more clean up, and the fact that I'm a little anal retentive on that. But hey, my chickens go in there, all nice and happy chickens. So yeah, still got my crap tons of trees going on here, which, as you can tell, they're starting to grow up. This row here, I accidentally grabbed cypress, so I just planted them in one really tight, dense row. I'm just gonna, at some point, put on the tree devourer and just run through and turn them all into chips. Might give them some. Might just say screw it. Give them some time. Let them get nice and tall before I do that. But yeah, got all these trees growing up nice and big and tall. I like to imagine right now I'm flying around a drone. Nothing's really changed with machinery. I can't really peek into that one. I did. I'll shut you off. I did end up just getting frustrated because I tried everything I could doing the big, with this big 60-foot header, because it's just a one big rigid header. So as long as what you're working is pretty flat, works great. Nice big wide swath, it's kind of awesome. But on a pitched and angled field with any kind of bumps or whatever, it left all sorts of spots, so I gave up. I sold that off, and I got this draper header. But basically it's the same exact thing as, where'd it go? The case draper header. Yeah, it's same width. Everything's the same except, whereas with this and pretty much all of the others, your harvest speed is 6 miles an hour. Yeah, with this one here, which only does sun. I'll put the sunflower one in here. Okay. So with all these, you're looking at 6 miles per hour for speed. So you get 6 miles per hour, 13.7 meter width. The Titan Draper, 13.7 meter width, 10 miles per hour. And you can kind of see there in the middle, it does actually flex in the middle. Switched over to that thing. I didn't have any issues, so I guess that's the one I'm gonna end up sticking with. I mean, it's faster, and it's a draper, which means I don't have to have hassle with the trailer. Kind of wish somebody would have modded like a bigger draper. That would be kind of cool. These are the ones I was gonna try, but I mean, I noticed it's 13.8. That's 13.7 in draper. So I figured I'd try that one first, and it worked. I keep thinking I might give this one another shot. I don't know if I'm going to go crazy with all the stuff. I might put in the cross augers just because. But the way this looks, it looks like this one should flex too. So it shouldn't be having as much issues. So I don't know. I might do an experiment with this one again. Now, anyway, so which way was I going? I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. was this way. So, that's what I got going on. I'm just kind of slowly but surely building and growing. So, yeah. Until next time, God bless and have fun.